It's fine, sweetie.
I should really take my blood pressure. Hi, guys. This is It's Fine, Sweetie podcast, starring me and you and you. I'm Andrea, and that's Clarice, and that is CJ. Say hi.
Hi.
Speaking of JPay, did you guys ever see I think it's like Iowa Department of Corrections. It's either Iowa or Idaho. I think it was Idaho because I was thinking about moving there because it's beautiful. And yeah, it was Idaho, which
Yeah.
is surprising because you never think about Idaho,
You don't really.
You never do, but apparently they're adding a lot of beautiful, beautiful landscapes, but it's incredibly racist. So anyway, I was looking
You see
at
that.
Idaho on
Beautiful
Instagram.
landscapes are.
Huh?
I said most beautiful landscapes are.
I know those white supremacists sure be gatekeeping.
They locked in, bro.
Yeah, they get a lot of
Like,
hate.
gotta keep this one for ourselves.
Yeah, bastards. Anyway, so I think that's how I got fed, like the Idaho Department of Corrections. They have like an entire Instagram for like they call it like pen pals, but really I think it's just a ploy to get people to put money on people's books because they get like 10% of anything that they put on
Is that right?
JPay. Yeah. Like the correctional or like the company gets like a percentage and then the correctional facility gets a percentage. So like they just fuck the inmates every which way. But they put them on there and it's just like a straight dating profile. They have men and women and it's like, hi, I'm blah blah blah. I'm in for blah blah blah. And I'm looking for a pen pal who, and the way you know it's just a dating profile is because they're not like, I just want to talk to somebody who's maybe into cats or reading thrillers. It's like, I'm really looking for someone who's 6'2", 140. And I'm like, okay.
I like
And
that.
apparently it's
First
lucrative.
of all, consider your surroundings.
Yeah.
And think about
if you really want to be that picky.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, well, you're not 6'2", bitch. Get it together. I thought about that because of the woman who was just arrested for allegedly threatening Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Oh, that was some.
Yeah, and like all these, I guess ads or other people talking about putting money on her books, and I was like, I want to help, but I don't think I want to put money on her books because
they wouldn't let people put money on her books. They shut it down. So many people are trying to do it that they just shut it down. They wouldn't let anybody put money on her books.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't want to give their system any money anyway. But so I was like, oh, we should think of a different way to help her, like pay her lawyer fees or whatever.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was like a bail fund in her area, and then you give money to the bail fund, and the bail fund can get her out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's out anyway.
Hey, that's good. I'm sure somebody was like, "This is ridiculous." Like, if that's the case, like every freaking bill collector could file with the FBI.
Yeah, like people in call centers have heard so much worse. So it's clear that it's just like
I heard worse when I was trying to get people to donate blood.
Yeah, like it's clear that it's just because they don't want people, murderizing CEOs.
Yeah. And then I've seen like a couple other things where people are like, oh, well, if like CEOs get unalived at the rate that children do, like maybe you guys will do something about gun regulation.
That shit's real.
Yeah, it's crazy, but the fucking world.
Well, I read this book and it's about the teachers, and then in the book they have to have an active shooter drill, and I'm like, it's just so fucked up that like our society has progressed to this point that if you're going to write a realistic story about a 40-year-old teacher who teaches in America, there has to be an active shooter drill.
Mm-hmm.
Like there has to be a section, a portion to that.
Yeah, and it's all very true. And then when you think about it, like even at work, right? Like when you think about work and like if somebody flips out or like the boss screws someone over, then like there's a potential for everybody in there to get lit up.
Just one bad Friday away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why when they fire somebody, they call everybody into the conference room to let you know that they're fired in a subtle way to be like, if you see this guy, come back.
They round you up like monkeys in a bucket. Like crabs in a bucket, they're just like, here they are. Here's the platter. Don't shoot the CEO. Here are your colleagues.
Right, because they had something to do with it.
Yeah. Anyway, anything? Are you reading anything that's a little bit less depressing?
So I did. I read like 4 books by this author, Olivia Dade, and she writes books about older people. So everybody was like in their 40s, and they were really good. And then she had this one like little novella. It's called Sweetest in the Gale, and it was absolutely beautiful. So I love that. And then what did I read? I'm reading. I'm currently reading Emma Long's Blood Over Brighthaven. Emma Long, like god tier author. It's incredible. It's so good, and I'm like 48% done, and I'm already like fucking shocked. I'm like, oh my god, we have 52% to go, and that's not even the big thing. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? So I'll let you know how that goes next week, but it's pretty good.
Okay. Clarence, what are you into these days?
I love Landman. Landman's my favorite.
So
Did
what
they drop the whole season or just episodes?
They come out every Sunday.
So how
what
many episodes have come
media
out
Huh? We're on episode 8.
already?
Yeah. Paramount. Ooh, and Lioness too. I really got into
So I think I told you that there's this girl at work who made like a little Apple playlist of like not playlist, but like a note that you can share. I don't know if she'll
No.
share it with you,
You
but
didn't tell me about this.
yeah. So I was just like at work, like you're making small talk, and she's like, "Yo, me and my family got this like note. You want in?" And I was like, "Yeah."
What's on the note?
It's all the shows that they recommend watching. And so I looked at it, and actually, they put Lioness and Landman on there. That's how I knew it
Yeah.
was on Paramount.
I rock with it.
So like it's just like shows that they're like, yeah, this is good. You should watch it, and then you can of course add stuff on there. Like so, whenever you're looking for things. But I was like, this is a good idea. I should copy this note and share it with you because I don't know if I should like put people on her list
Yeah, probably
because I
not.
fucked up. Like all these people keep
Key.
asking things, and I don't know
Both
if they have good taste. Yeah, but anyway,
low key, both of those kind of sound invasive. So
yeah.
So what do you?
No, copying it is probably fine because it's just shows. It's not like they're notes. It's not like they're like when I watched it with Bob.
Yeah,
We
not a
both
diary.
excited.
all right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
so
definitely
I'll
take
just copy it and then I'll share it with y'all and then we can talk about it. But it's pretty cool. It's a good idea, honestly, because it's like
I
so
didn't
many
know you could do that.
yeah so many times I'm with people and I'm just like, oh yeah, have you seen this? Have you seen that? Blah blah blah. It would be cool to like kind of know if people know what the hell you're talking about. Like at the holiday party this year, someone was saying that they really like the show Brilliant Minds, and I was like, really? It looks so stupid. And they were like, yeah, I really like it. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll give it another chance. But just kind of like I told you, like with Slow Horses, I was like, can't get into it. But
But Slow Horses was
I
so
love it.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is it?
I love
You
it.
have to get to like what is it, the 5th episode? You have
No,
to
that's
get
too
there,
far.
and it
You
is so
should.
far
It's so worth it. It's so good. It's so good. Clarence, you
because
should.
there's no other way for them to get to the twist without all the other buildup.
I don't
But
like slow burn. Like I'm
uh,
in Silo, and now season 2 is out, and I don't want to watch it.
I mean, it's not like From. You spent all that time watching From, and it's a shit show.
And well, see, I'm already invested.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get invested in something that's not shit.
Ugh.
I mean, I kind of feel you with Silo because it was so slow that I just read the book instead. So I read all of the books. There's like 4 of them, and now I know.
Can you tell me what happened?
Do you want me to?
He's not a, yeah, he doesn't.
Oh, well, this is I mean, do I spoil it on the
Yeah,
podcast?
just say spoiler alert.
Okay, well, okay, so spoilers for the
Clarice,
book
are you okay with
and the show Silo. So they are in a silo and they think that they're alone, but they're really one of 50. There are 50 other
Oh,
silos. There's
100.
So that's Fallout. It's the exact same
There's
Fallout.
one for each state because the world had deteriorated to the point where
Nuclear war.
where
Trolls.
where different countries all had nanobites. Like people would get nanobites in their body just for like health, and then other countries could hack your nanobites or send new nanobites to take over your nanobites. So they had to go underground, and then they nuked the world. But there's one silo for every state, and then the ultimate secret is that they always intended to not keep everybody from all 50 silos. They kept 50 for redundancy, but if at the end of 100 years there's 40 still left, they were going to kill 39.
Based off of what accreditations or criteria?
There's I guess there's 51 silos because there's one silo that like monitors everything and they know what's happening. So like they go into their scientists and engineers go into like cryo sleep, like deep cryo sleep. So they're going to still be there and know what happened and the whole history of everything at the end. And then they're just going to
So,
decide who has performed the best over the years because all the silos have to send them information.
so the silo government,
Yeah.
like the local government, knows what's going on.
Yeah. But then also, apparently, there are people that survived on the surface, and then there's like a little skirmish.
So I feel like Common is always fucking shit up. Don't
He
y'all?
is.
Like
Yeah,
I
Like,
feel
when
like Common
Tommy
is
was in The
always
Shy,
a
it's
problem.
like the opposite of when you see an actor and you're like, ooh, I want to tune in. Like when you see comments on something.
Like, yeah, I already know he's up to some fuck shit. Like, yeah, no, I'm straight, Common.
That's like
It's
I
disappointing.
watched Carry On and I didn't know that what's his name?
Theo Rossi,
Juice.
Jason Bateman.
No,
I like
Juice.
Theo Rossi. What's wrong with Juice?
Which one is he? Is he the one from Sons of Anarchy, right? The one that
Yep,
I found out he was black? I was like,
yep.
he's a criminal. Always. Yeah.
I was telling
Like
William that
he's
we
got a
watched it
face.
too. I was like, Theo Rossi is like
Is
the
that his name?
sweetest person.
Uh-huh.
When you see him on an interview, he seems like a total teddy bear. But every single movie, he's a fucking murderer, criminal. And I'm like,
Terrible person.
yeah,
He must, I mean, I'm sure he's like probably being typecast and he's like, whatever, I need to pay my bills.
right.
He
But
seems
every time I see him, I'm like, he's fucking crazy. And
good.
like, what's that other guy that played the crazy guy with all the personalities in that M. Night Shyamalan movie?
James McAvoy, I love
Yeah,
him.
it's like, can he play a
Yeah.
normal guy? Or is he
No,
Not
fucking,
ever. And
yeah.
when he tries to be normal, he ruins it. Like in It Too, like it was terrible.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, I saw
Mhm.
it too, and I was like, just be crazy.
Just be crazy.
Feed your friends to it, you know, like
Yeah,
feed your friends to Pennywise, and then I'll believe you
I was
yeah.
telling somebody that I have a crush on James McAvoy, and I was like, because
because he's
before I knew like like before James McAvoy was James McAvoy, he was in this movie Penelope with Christina Ricci. Have you seen that? The whole premise is that
It's
Christina
about it,
Ricci
right?
has a pig nose. Like she has a pig nose. Like it's she like an actual pig nose. And he falls in love with her and it's just like this stupid story. But like James McAvoy turned in like 1000% performance and I'm like, why is he going so hard in this movie?
probably a method actor. He's probably out
He
there,
is.
like
Yeah,
living his character's best life. Like this is the only thing he
Like
can focus.
everybody else is like they're like, we showed up for the check, James. And he was like, absolutely not. I'm a thespian. And I was
sending it
like,
home,
okay.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably like terrorizing everybody on set. There's going to be stories that come out later of like him being an absolute psychopath. Like, I was just trying to go get some fucking cheese, and here's this motherfucker sitting here, like guarding it and being creepy. James, snap out of it, bro. And they're like,
Yeah.
James, who is James?
Yeah. It's not me. It was Patricia. Patricia did that.
Yeah, you're like, shut the fuck up. God damn it. I'm not here for your shit. That's like, have you heard like Brian Cox, I think, also talk about, what's his name? Jeremy, that played
Yeah.
his
Jeremy
son.
Strong.
He gets on my nerves, that method acting bullshit. I was like, of course Brian Cox would say that. Like, I can't deal with this. Just fucking stop. Like, don't talk to me.
Just
But
cut it the fuck out.
yeah, I made the mistake of downloading a book that's like 29 fucking hours.
Oh, that's your worst nightmare.
I know.
What is the book?
And I thought, I was like, damn, Dree would love this.
What was it?
It's called, no, let me look it up. But I was just like, I had like a credit, with Audible. And I was like, okay, what do I do this month? I know that's what everybody says, but something about not finishing it. The Love Songs of U.E.B. Du Bois.
I've heard people talking about this.
So far, really interesting. I mean, obviously, I have 19 more hours to go. So it's going to be a while. But
like 3 weeks, man. You got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to do it all at once. And isn't it short stories? It's like little novellas.
It's really interesting, but so far, not really. It's not like, so the interesting thing about it, I was thinking about this in terms of our family story that we have been talking about before. And so it kind of starts off and it's like, oh, we're going to tell you this story, but like, it's like a long family history.
Yeah.
And so like, even though they're like these little stories, everybody's connected. And so you kind of have to remember the first, like I'm on the second generation. Like there was a woman, she was with this man who everybody was mesmerized with, and he was black, and he was with the Creeks, and they got married, and he was like, he wanted to return to his land. And then she didn't tell him that she was pregnant because she didn't want to like keep him from living his dream. So she has twins, and then the twins grow up without their dad because mom didn't tell them. And then one of the twins marries a white man, and she has a son. And so I'm at the part where the other twin, the brother, takes the white man and the son out on like a hunting trip.
Ugh. Oh, that sounds dangerous.
Poor white man doesn't know it. But yeah, so it's like there's these stories. It's following like their lineage. How do you say the word? Lineage. Yes. And yeah, so it's interesting, but yeah, I guess I'm always like afraid that when I'm into a book like this that I'm going to forget stuff. And that gives me my own set of like fear.
If they don't tie it back in a way that's relevant.
Yeah, that's bad authorship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got nothing to do with you as a listener.
Just
enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
All right. So
yeah, criticize the hell out of it.
Yeah, so far I'm liking it. I like the way it's told. I like, you know how when we were reading the Stephen Graham what's his name? Yeah.
Graham.
Sorry. Thanks, guys. When we were reading him, then it was a lot of like how Native Americans speak in some of the dialect, and so there's some of that in there too. So I like that. That's pretty. I
love that about books, and I think that people that like refuse to read books with like a diverse set of characters really miss out on that. Yeah, I just think it's such a shame.
It almost feels like what it's reminding me of is like when folks tell stories at the just like about family that's like not as like it's not as rounded or whatever. Yeah. I was thinking about it because remember Grandma or Aunt Starla was talking about Grandma's dad, like after Lily died, Lily Senior.
Uh-huh.
Then he was really sad and got drunk and I think maybe killed someone.
Wow.
Yeah, L.D. Williams did shoot someone. Yeah, and then that's why he had to run away.
Yeah, and that's how they became orphans. So I was like thinking about that as like you could fictionalize the story, like fill in the pieces of like what happened if you were writing a similar story. But I also, it's been a while since I read this one, but it was like The Secret Life of Church Girls or Church Women.
I haven't read that. But I was thinking when you were telling that, there's this book that's a lot like that with like they go through the lineage, and I talked about it on here before, but it's called Red at the Bone, but it's way shorter. It's like a novella, so it's like 4 hours to listen to. It's excellent. I recommend that.
Okay, cool. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. So far, it's really interesting, and I'm physically and hand reading What It Takes to Heal by Prentice Hill. Oh, and I just finished The Will to Change by Bell Hooks.
How is that?
I liked it. I mean, I feel like Bell Hooks writes pretty plain. Like, but they're deep topics, and I think it's like worth exploring. And I think I think what is interesting about bell hooks in like a lot of authors that write that way is like, I'm sure it's research based, but it's written in this way that's just like looking at examples in real life
Mm-hmm.
to like kind of drive home the point. And I think that like a lot of times, you know, with pattern recognition and other stuff like that, you can kind of see some issues. And I think that sometimes I know, like, you know, you and I in conversation, like me and Tierra, like even you and Clarence, me and Clarence, all of us together, we kind of like go through this process of like looking at things that are similar and trying to like figure out what's the underlying, I don't know, issue or like how we can get past it to have better connections. And I really think she does that really well in the book. It's mostly focused on patriarchy, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also about like parenting and how parenting and the hierarchy of parenting like feeds back into patriarchy. And like I said, like, so then Prentice Hill, their book, I don't remember if I don't remember, but so I'm just going to say but their book has some of those elements like in the first couple of chapters of like talking about their father's trauma and how that's like reverberated through the family, like he doesn't have any power at work, and so when he comes home like everyone like feels the wrath of that, like he's giving his best self at work, and then we and have to internalize his violence as if we deserve it. And I was like, very interesting. It's super interesting. Anyway,
That is very interesting.
yeah, so I don't know, just all of that together. I mean, I didn't intend to read two books on that at the same time. Because like What It Takes to Heal, right? It just like draws you in as like something else. But then too, I guess you can't really separate those two things.
You know, I bought this book and I don't know why I bought it. I guess I must have seen it somewhere, but it's Why Does He Do That? And it's a
I talked to you about that.
okay, that's why I
I
bought it.
I mean, wait, when did you buy it though?
Bought it used, so I think I bought it a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So someone on TikTok mentioned it. I bought it on Audible. When I did a search in my phone to try to find it, I found a note that I had written myself from 2022 that I should read this book. And I was like, damn. So I've been like, you know, subconsciously. But yeah, I listened to that one too. Which you
How'd
started.
you find that? What do you think of it?
It's interesting. I mean, I don't normally listen to the introduction to books,
Mm-hmm.
but I like that I listened to the introduction because I think that a lot of times we hear the word abuse and get kind of like turned off about
Mm-hmm.
like because we're like, oh, abuse, it doesn't fit into like this neat box of what we've considered abuse. But because they explained it like, oh, it's like so broad, it's not really like when we're saying abuse, it's not really physical abuse. Like, don't discount it just because like a person's not being physically harmed. And so that made it easier. But like so far, I'm really fascinated by the topics. And then I started talking to Aunt Starla about it, and she said they have to read it. They had to read it as part of her social work program.
Oh
Hmm.
wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I think it's interesting. I like the nuance of it, like the way it's explained in different scenarios as well. And then again, it's all like, I don't know, it's just fascinating. It's interesting to know that like things repeat themselves in that way. Have you gotten very far in it?
No, it just came in the mail, and I was like, because I bought like 3 books on writing, and then a book called The Crisis of the Black Intellectual, and then that book, and I was like, why the fuck did I buy this book?
I was
So I
reading.
have why did I get this? So now I
Yeah.
know.
Me. It was me.
It was me. Oh, did you see that fucking tornado in California?
Yes.
Like, I
Like
don't know if
crazy.
I'm make it through climate change.
None of us are. It's okay.
That's insane.
We just all have to die together, I don't know that I have the will to survive in like a bunker. I mean, I
It'll
barely
be
have the
fine.
will to survive regularly.
Like to just get an RV and like live in a national park.
That's where they keep the bears. Like, oh, we should do a family trip like in a cabin. I was like, what if somebody starts pissing me off? She goes, just take a walk. I said, with bear?
It's true. There are bears out there.
You don't feel like you could take a bear?
I mean, but normally, like,
Have you seen that movie with fucking Leonardo DiCaprio? That's
He killed the bear. He won, bro.
Turned him every which way but loose, baby.
I'm not saying it's not gonna be a fight, but
And I don't know that I'm gonna survive because eventually I'm just gonna be like, this is so much. Just take me.
But
Just fucking
normally
eat my
bears
gut.
that are like hanging around campsites are like they're
they
not
just want food.
Yeah, but until they get like rabies or something, right? I
Dash
don't
that bear
fucking
up
know. But
until that bear gets on cocaine.
sir, I'm not gonna.
cocaine bears or something different.
Cocaine bear is a whole nother.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like one to go from being pissed off because someone's chewing too loudly and then walk in the woods to get attacked by a fucking bear. Does that seem like a legitimate thing? Like, do you really want that to happen? Like, oh fuck, they're just too loud. You're getting on my goddamn nerves. I'm gonna go for a walk, and next thing you know, you're fighting for your life with a goddamn.
Man, what
No,
if you had
Hey, man,
misophonia while the bear was eating you?
just get it over with. God damn, do you have to eat my bones so loud? Just eat my head first. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine like actually just having to sit there and listen to a bear eat your fucking guts. That sounds terrible. It's like
Sometimes do you think about like stories? I'm not gonna say that because that's really creepy and I don't want to creep anybody out.
no,
But like
nah.
do you no,
All
no,
right.
I'm not gonna say it.
like when people are living inside people's walls and then come out and kill them.
It's
No,
called frogging.
no.
Yeah, I saw a whole
Yeah,
series.
that does creep me out. I saw it. But
I feel like I would notice. On God, I'd be like, yeah, no. I feel like I'm top notch peripherals over here.
I feel like those people's houses were like way too big, and that's why
mhm.
I'm being
On
like
God, like, yeah, that's the
afraid to
problem.
live in a
You got
big
a whole secret basement behind the refrigerator you don't know
that
about,
you never go to, and like this would be like a perfect place to like
on
hang.
God. And why would you show it to somebody?
Yeah, like you're 80 years old, you live in a house with 5 bedrooms, and you live in one of them. Like,
There's no need.
no, you somebody's definitely living in that fucking house in that bedroom, one
Mm-hmm.
of those bedrooms.
And
And
that's why you ain't never got no frosted flakes.
right, you're like, I just 4 I 8. Yeah, like the Trump lady with the cheese. She's like, and then the cheese just disappeared. Ma'am, that's the
Listen, if your food starts disappearing, just leave and don't come home. Like the house doesn't belong to you anymore. It's either a ghost or it's somebody living in your walls.
They leaving you notes like we
most
need more
people
cheese.
don't have money to like just move out of there.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's why I would
But
be
do
like,
you have money to be murderized?
that's the thing. Like when you
If
think
you kill me, who's gonna pay the bills though, my nigga?
no, but I'm just like, when you think that like you always are gonna consider like whether or not you're gonna live or die, like you're gonna realize that there's a situation where you could possibly die if you stay in that situation, and you want to say that you would just like do whatever, like live on
I
the
got
street.
real world problems.
Yeah, but like it's not true. You don't do that. You actually just fucking
You like, I gotta go to work tomorrow.
pray that you don't get murderized. It's really sad.
Capitalism.
Yeah, because I was like, I do understand because that's what I've always thought. Like, well, you know,
Haunted house, I'll just move. With
well, like,
that
have you
security.
seen Worst Roommate Ever or something? I think
Yeah.
that's what
Oh
it's
yeah,
called,
I saw that.
where they've like, murderized a couple people or whatever. Like in a couple of different episodes, people have gotten murdered, but whenever or unalived, people have gotten unalived. And when you think about it, you're like, damn, she should just move. Like, fuck it, he has the house now. But at the same time, like, it's not that easy. Like, there's a reason why she had in
So
the first
I
place.
make 736.
What?
I
Oh,
make 736 an hour. Yeah. How am I supposed to move?
Yeah, there's like I have this house and I can't. Like, I mean, even like, yeah. Anyway, what were you gonna say, Dree?
well, sometimes I just think about like different scenarios. Like when I go and take a walk, one day there was like this kid's backpack, like a suitcase, like a bright pink suitcase, and it was on.
If you check it for money.
Was so like the
Mm-hmm.
trail is like half a mile, so it was like three quarters of the way down. And there's a bench, and so that's where the suitcase was. And I was like, "Ooh, nope, don't look, just keep walking." So I did my walk, and then a couple days later, I mean, it stayed there on the bench, and then a couple days later, it had moved down. It was closer to like
That's
my
spooky.
end. And so it keeps moving, and I'm like, is this like a game? Is there actually like drug trafficking? Blah blah blah. And then the other day, so this has been like a full month, and the other day I went back, and somebody had started like a burn pile, which would be pretty dangerous to burn over there because it's like a green belt, and the backpack or the suitcase was open and it was on the burn pile, and I was like, who would set up a burn pile? And I was like thinking of scenarios, thinking.
Would you
And
come
one
up?
time I went over there and this guy was dressed like he was like a city worker, but I don't think he was. And he had, because he had his dog with him.
Oh, you
And
play too much.
I was
Extra.
like, just keep walking. Just pretend like you really think he's a city walker. And I was like, hi, sir. And like, because our dogs almost fought. And I was like, no, come on. Ha ha ha, bye. But his dog was like really aggressive. And I was like, why would he have that really aggressive dog at work?
That sounds scary. I do feel like when people are super nefarious, they always dress as city workers.
Yeah.
Man, that's the perfect cover.
It is, right? Because it's like, oh, I mean, because we had the city worker guy come to our door and he was like, but obviously I don't trust anyone. And so he's like, hey, I think you need to move your car. And I was like, get off my porch first. I don't know. Yeah. I was like, I'm super scary. Like, I'm not opening this fucking door so you can bum rush me in here. If you're going to fight me, you're going to fight me in the street, motherfucker. See, at least, I need somebody to witness it.
Yeah.
Amen.
No, that was funny. I like the way you said that. Anyway, and then in terms of like shows, I watched on Netflix No Good Deed.
Well, how was that?
Watch that.
I liked it. I liked it. I did a Google search on something and some reviewer said Lisa Kudrow carried the cast, but I really don't think that's true. I think it was cool. I liked it all the way through. And I didn't guess the plot twist. Yeah.
I love it when that happens.
Finished it already?
I finished it.
You got to shit.
You know what I'm still loving? The English teacher.
Really?
I never started that. It's on Hulu. It's like
I finished that. Isn't it over?
No, I mean, it might be over, but I've been watching it really slow. I'm on the episode where it's his birthday.
Yeah.
And like the kid comes to him and he's like, I think I'm gay. And he's like, why are you talking to me about it? Like, go talk to your peers. I can't help.
Yeah. He's like, I'm already on thin ice. Yeah. Yeah, I like that show. It was pretty funny. That's a good show. And then this show is so cute called Man on the Inside. It's got Ted Danson in it.
Oh yeah. He's an old guy and supposed to be a spy.
Yeah, it's super cute. And I was like, love this one. I've done couple little tears.
I'll have to check that out. I haven't watched much TV lately.
I was at this Christmas party and we were again talking about our TV shows that we like to watch, and then someone goes, how do you guys watch so much TV? And I said, oh, that sounds so judgy.
It does.
Good. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
It's like a commitment, bro. Oh, did you tell her that it sounded judgy?
Yeah, I said, oh, it sounds so judgy when people say that. And she goes, well, I don't know. And I said, well, I put my show on to like do other things. I'm not just like sitting there eating bonbons. I'm like cleaning, or sometimes I'm
on the treadmill, motherfucker.
Sometimes I'm on my computer. I'm doing stuff. Like, I'm not just watching. I was like, but if it's too intense, I can't watch the show. So a lot of times I'll turn the show off. But that's kind of like why I have this rhythm of, like FBI and those kind of shows. It's like a crime happens.
Right. It's a procedural. So you know exactly what's going to happen in the procedure.
Yeah, I just got to watch the first 5 minutes.
And then over. They don't have any like parts where they're like, secretly sending text messages you can't you have to look up and read. They're all reading it all out to us. So anyway, so yeah, I was just like, oh, I hate that. But I also was talking to my friend over last week and I was saying, this is so-and-so. I've embarrassed myself in front of her a couple of times. And she goes, oh, what did you say? And I told her what I said and she was, man, that's pretty bad. And then she saw this TikTok and it was like, hey, do you go home and think about things you said afterwards and get embarrassed? And that person was like, you should release yourself from that because you're allowed to take up space in however you show up. And I was like, thanks. That's really encouraging. So when I said that to the girl, I think originally that would have been something I thought about a lot. Like, how it was like, why do people say that? It makes it like so judgy. And then I was like, oh, I was at work. I shouldn't have said that. She probably took it the wrong way. And then I was like, no, that's how I showed up. And then it was, I participated in the conversation. I said what I felt like I needed to say, didn't call her. I feel like my line is always like, I didn't call her a bitch or anything.
Right.
So I'm like, oh yeah, either we're good or fuck her.
Precisely.
I think it's like what fuck 'em and feed 'em beans means, right? Like either we're cool or fuck you, I think.
Ain't my problem.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. And then I told mom I saw another TikTok of this girl was like, oh, I've noticed that like there's a lot of things in that I have that are like grouped together with people that like I don't fuck with because I work really hard to mask and be liked and whatever. And there's a group of people who don't like me, and I don't give a fuck. And I don't know which thing came first. Like, do they not like me first, and then I started to not give a fuck, or did I not give a fuck and now they don't like me? And she's like, I guess it's not. I don't have to figure that out, but it's just interesting. I was like, yeah, because sometimes,
The chicken or the egg?
yeah, you just like, I don't care. Because working too hard to get people to like you is overrated.
It's also embarrassing.
It
Like,
is,
I've
right?
been more embarrassed about trying to get somebody to like me than I have been by accidentally pissing somebody off.
Yeah, that's true. I can't remember the last time I tried to get somebody to like me.
Last time I tried to get somebody to like me, it was definitely a boy.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, like the shit didn't work out,
Well, I
and it
want
was
to know
embarrassing.
more about this. Like, I mean, obviously, this is still probably.
Yeah, one day you're gonna tell me all your stories.
I want
No,
to
the fuck I
know.
won't.
I'm very curious. I saw an ad that was like, we take your family stories and turn them into these like little books so that they don't have to like write things down. And I was like, that seems like a really good idea, except for you're gonna take my family stories and make them into like me giving you the rights to my life. And if somebody's got a really interesting story, you're just gonna like
You're just gonna
make
sell that shit.
mini series and not give me any money. It's like the Henrietta Lacks of fucking stories. No thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, that sounds like a cool idea, except for it's not. But oh well.
All right. Well, in the interest of fuck you if you don't like me, this has been. It's fine. You know, it's really fine, sweetie. It's a podcast with me and you, and it's been fun.
Damn. All right. Bye.
I
Yeah,
had a good time.
this is
He
an
said,
aggressive
wrap it up.
closing.
Yeah.
I thought we had to keep it
Wrap
under
that shit up.
45 so we could give
Wrap
it to
that shit
Guy.
up.
Yeah. She's like, wrap it up. All right. Bye.
Hit the buzzer. You know
Oh, what
that
am I supposed to do? I'm sorry.
It's
it
a
was the fuck you if you don't like me part that really was.
Really cute and clever.
That was a little aggressive.
yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Damn.
saying. This is why I'm no good at parties. Because I was like, isn't that adorable? And you're like, no.
That what you meant by that?
Yeah. It's
All
fine.
right. Well, rewind. I love you guys. I had a great time.
That's
Me
bad.
too.
Yeah.
What? What's up?
Like we're at
Me,
like the end of the year, so like I hope you guys are taking
we
it
are
easy.
at the end of the year. Me and Charlie started to write a book. We have our first chapter.
Ooh, that is very fancy. I cannot wait to hear about that.
Yeah, me either.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
we'll take your notes.
All
Okay.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.